Okay, good everyone. So in this tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you guys about the CSS Media Query. Alright, so CSS Media Query I used to make a website to be responsive. Okay, meaning the layout and styles of your web page of your website is going to change automatically depending on the device screen. So it's going to change automatically depending on the device screen size, the orientation, maybe portrait or landscape, or the type of device, maybe Android phone, iPhones. Alright. Okay. So the CSS, just know that the CSS media queries, they are used to make your website to be responsive. Okay. So that being said, now yeah, I just wrote this little piece here. So media queries allows your web page to look good on all devices by applying different CSS styles based on the screen width or other conditions. Okay, so if you create your web page or your website, if you create it and you use a laptop, for example, now when somebody wants to open that particular web page using an Android phone, it's not going to be responsive. Your text might be big due to you used a laptop to design. All right, due to use a laptop to design, so you just look if it's going to be responsive on that your particular laptop. All right, so this is where media queries comes in. So media queries allows you to change the layout of that your web page, so that it's going to fit in other screen sizes, other devices, other devices like phones, Android phones, iPhone, tablets, and other kind of laptops also. All right, so yeah, we have the syntax for it. At media, as you can see here, at media, then media type. All right, remember there's a space here, very important. As media, media type, then and keyword here, then open and close brackets, then a condition inside. All right, then you open your curly brace, you close your curly brace, then inside it is where you now begin to write your CSS rules. Maybe you want to affect the body. Okay, you want to change the background color of the body when it's being opened by an Android phone. Okay, now here the as media, which is this, is the keyword to start a media query. Remember, is the keyword to start a media query. Why this media type here? As you can see here, this media type is the type of device like screen. So you can say at media screen. All right, so just be getting the logic. Then here is the keyword and, then here the condition. So this condition is what you are testing, like the screen width. Okay, so you're just going to logically, this is what at media keyword, the screen keyword, and the condition. So at media screen and let's say width 50 pesos. So any rules, any CSS rules that you place inside here is going to affect the screen size when it is when the width is what 50 pesos. Remember I said the condition width 50 pesos, for example. Okay, so that is just how this logically works. All right, so let's go to practicalize this. So let me open my Visual Studio Code here and let's create a file. Let's say media queries, media underscore queries dot html. All right, okay, so let me run this. Okay, so let me say we have okay, let me change this title first. Let me say media queries. Okay, now yeah, I'm going to be using an internal CSS. Right, Now let me give it a background color first. Let me say background, let's say light blue. All right, so we have the default background color light blue. Mind you, this is what the default. All right, so this is the default background color light blue. So no matter the width is going to what take this light blue because it is what default. All right, so now let's make it to be what responsive. So yeah, I'm going to be using the art keyword, art, then media, then space screen. All right, then and then yeah, open bracket, close bracket, then do this. All right, so inside this bracket, this is where I'm going to be placing my condition, and I'm going to be using a condition. Let's say width. Let's be specific first. Width. Let's say width. Let's say 350 pixels, for example. All right. So let me now say the body. So if the width of my device is 350 pixels, let me change the background color of this body. Mind you, the default background color is what light blue. So yeah, I want to override it when the width is what 350 watt pixels. So let me say background color, and let's say dark blue. All right, let's say dark blue. Now you see there is no effect here, there is no changes here because this width is not what the width of this device we are seeing here is not what 350 watt pesos. Okay, so let's test run this. So right click on your browser, click on inspect. All right, then come here, click on this. You can see toggle device toolbar. It might be something else on your own, but I believe the icon should be the same. Okay, so click on this. You can see here we have dimension font. This is the width of the dimension, this is the height of the dimension. Okay, here you can see different phone sizes. All right, so you can choose any phone of your choice to target. All right, you can still come here, click on edit, add a custom device, place the device name, change the width, or give it a width of your choice, give it a height of your choice. All right, then you click on add a custom device. So when you come back here, you should be able to what see it. Okay, so let me just cancel this. Now here, take a good look. Remember we used 350 pesos as the width. Okay, so when the width is what 350 pesos, it should change the background color to what dark blue. So let's go back here and let's try be looking at this. Let me drag it to make this 350 pesos. So let's check if the code we wrote worked. So you can see I'm getting it a little bit. Okay, I'm unable to I'm unable to get that exact point. So you can just come here. All right, you can come here, just type 350 pesos, then hit on enter. Okay, so you can now see if the device width is 350 pesos, it's going to change the background to what to blue. All right, so let's go back. Let's go back here. Now here, I'm going to be using max width 350 pesos. And what the max width does is that when the width is 350 pesos or smaller, it's going to what have that what effect. So 350 pesos or smaller, as you can see, from 50 here that we have down to 350, down to 350 is going to take that effect. All right, so when it's more than, it's not going to take it. Okay, so before I forgot, if you want to target a specific screen size, just go to Google, search for the screen size. all right, of that device. Okay, you might go to Google and say, what is the mass width of Android phones, iPhone 10, iPhone 15, iPhone 20, and all that. iPhone 20 is not yet out too. Okay, just an example. Okay, so that is that. So yeah, I'm going to be saying mass width, let's say 768 pesos. All right, and this 768 pesos is majorly used to target tablets and medium phones. All right, it's majorly used to target tablets and medium phones. So let's see. So you can see. Okay, so you can now see. You can now see. So any if the device is smaller than 768 pesos, it's going to take the effect down to when it hits 768 pesos on the dot. So if it's now more than 768 pesos, it's now going to take our default style. Alright, it's now going to take our default styles. You can see. Okay, so that being said, that being said, let's come down here and let's have a p tag here, and let's give it a dummy word, let's say 50. All right, okay, so you can see we have this dummy words here. Okay, so let's go back to our work. Now you see, so if they view this my device, if they view this my web page on laptop with this kind of a screen size, or any device that I did not specify in the media query, is going to give them this default background color here. Okay, but if they view it on a device that the width, as you can see, that the width is what, smaller, or exact 768 pixels, is going to change the background color. Okay, so now let's go to affect the text. Let's go to affect the text. So yeah, I'm going to be creating an effect for the text, a style for the text. So on default, let me say the font size. Okay, so on default, let's say the font size should be 18 pesos. Now you can see it's what, increased a little bit. It increased. All right, so on default we said the font size should be what, 18 pesos. You can increase yours just for test purpose. Okay, so I'm going to be making mine 18 pesos. All right, so now when the device is when the device falls under this my condition here, meaning when the device width, or the max width, is what, 768 pesos, or when the width is what, below 768 pesos, is going to take um this effect. So let me change the font size here, and there let me say 16 pesos. All right, if you look at this work here, there is no effect because it's still on my default. All right, so let me adjust this web page here, so that is going to hit this our condition. So you see that the font size is going to what, change. All right, so let's do this. Let's see. Now you can see, you see the font size became what, smaller. Okay, let me reduce this to 12 to be more smaller, so that you see. Now you can see. So you can see. So you see it became what, more smaller. All right, so I'm just going to change it back to 16. All right, okay, so you can see you can even add the font color, the normal color, to be, yeah, let's say white. Now you can see. So if it's on the default, look at it, the font color is what, black, and the font size is 18 pesos, but if I adjust it to hit our condition here, you see everything now what changes. So you can also come here to click on the inspect, just like I said before, and let's try to reduce. You can see. All right, so you can see. Okay, so if you are working to target any specific device, you can just come here and input the device for us. Let's say 768 pesos. All right, so you'll now be able to see the effect of what you are doing based on that particular what device. All right, based on that particular device. Okay, so let's go back here. You can still add more queries. All right, you can still add more queries to target different screen sizes. So yeah, let me add another query. Let me say as media screen and as media screen and max width. So yeah, let's say 480 pixels. All right, now this max width 400 and this 480 pesos for the max width is mostly for small phones. All right, it's mostly for small phones. Okay, remember, this is what the default. This max width 768 pesos is for tablets or medium phones. Sorry, it's for tablet or medium phones. Why this one 480 pesos, they are for mostly smaller what small phones. All right, so here I'm going to say the body. Okay, then let's change the background color also. Let's say background color should be, let's say, light coral. All right, so now you can see. Let's start it. Okay, you can see. So if the mass width is what 480 pesos or below 480 pesos, is going to take that background color as light coral. Okay, then remember, once it hits our other rule, you can see. So once it's above, now just check the width here. So once it is above the 480 pesos that we give, it's going to now take this other rule. Okay, remember the logic here: below 768 pesos or exactly 768 pesos. So this is what the mass width or the width. If the width is below 768 pesos or exactly 768 pesos, all right, now this is what if the width is below 480 pesos or exactly 480 pesos. So once this is what exactly 480 pesos, which is 481, so it now jump out of this rule. It's now going to jump out of this rule. So this one is now going to catch it. All right, this is now going to catch it because this one now is still lesser or equal to 768 pesos. Why this one is also lesser or equal to 480 pesos. So once it's lesser, once it's greater than 480 pesos, it's now going to jump out of this condition. All right, so this one now is now going to what trap it. So once it jumps out of this condition here, so it's now going to take what our default. Okay, so just get the logic. So yeah, let's say, okay, let's come back here. So let me increase so you can see. So once it's more than this 480 pesos, let me drag. You see that it's going to take the other what effect, this. So you see, Okay, so once it's more than the 768 pesos, right, it's now going to take our default. It's now going to jump out of that media query condition. So you see, okay, so let's go back and let's change the font size also. Let's say on smaller phones, let's say the font size should be, let's say, 14 pesos. So take a good look. Okay, so we can also change the color. Let's say color should be, let's see, dark blue. All right, so you can see, so lesser or equal to 480 pesos is going to take this effect, as you can see. So above 480 pesos is going to take the next effect. Then above 768 pesos is going to take our default effect. All right, so you see the way I called this. Okay, you see the way I called it and affected what everything here. All right, assuming we have a another let's say we have a span element. All right, and here I have another test. Let me say lorem 30. All right, here we have the other span test lorem 30. Okay, 30 dummy words. Okay, which is this. All right, you can still come to effect the styles. Let's say our default. Let's on our default. um let's give it a class, or we can just use the element here. Let's say span. Let's say color should be red. So this is our default. You see, the default applied to all the sizes. The default applied to all the sizes, as you can see, except we go to those media queries and override it. So you can see the color is what, red. It applied to all the sizes. All right, so let's now come here. Now for this, remember, this is what the rule for this body element here. So after that, I'm going to be creating another rule for the span. All right, and man, you don't make mistake on the curly braces. As you can see, this is the opening of this media query curly brace, and this is the closing. So remember, all your rules is going to be inside. All your rules is going to be inside what, the opening and the closing of the curly brace of this media query that you are using. So yeah, let's override the color, and let's say the color should be, let's say, yeah, let me just say green. All right, so let's go back, and you can see the color is green. All right, so the color is green. Now if it's above 768 pixels, it's going to take that red. Now you can see. All right, so yeah, for this other device, let me call out the span, and let's say the color should be, let's say, yellow. All right, so now you can see, so the color yellow. So once it's more than 480 pixels, it's going to take the other effect, which is green. So once it's more than 768 pixels, it's going to take the default effect, which is what, red. All right, so this is how to use your media query to make your web page to be what, responsive. Okay, this is how to use your media query to make your web page to be responsive. You might have a div, and and the height and the width on default of the div might be something else. Let's say the div, let's say the width 100 pixels, for example. So you can see the div here. All right. So might say let's say the width 100% to attain full width. Okay. So you can have a div like this. All right. A div like this, and you want the div to have different height and width based on the device. Okay. So each of all those media query, you can still come inside and call out the div, then you change it. Let's say the height now. Okay, let's say we just want to change only the width. All right, so we can just say the width should be here. Let's say, okay, let me say 300 pesos. Now you can see on default it is what, complete 100%. All right, so let's change it. You see 380 pesos. All right, so you can see. Okay, so we can make it 768 pesos. So you can see 768 pesos. So once it's more than 768 pesos, it's going to go back to default. All right, then you can see it's not matching with the write up. So here we give this a rule. Here also let's call out the div, and let's say the width 480 pesos. All right, so let's add different background color for each of them. Let's say here green, then here mm, let's say blue. Okay, so now on default the width is 100% and the background color is what, red. All right, so let's adjust. So this on default, so let's adjust. So you can see, so let's adjust. You can see the background color changed to blue. Now let's reduce it a little bit. Now you can see the background color now changed to what, green. So this is how to use your media what, queries. All right, remember to drop your questions on the comment section. All right, remember to drop your questions on the comment section, and also try to achieve this. All right, try to achieve this. Okay, a quick review. All these are for the default. All right, why this rule is when it's below, lesser or equal to 768 pesos. Okay, when the device screen size is lesser or below 768 pesos. Why this one is also another media query when the device screen or when the width of the device is lesser or equal to 480 pesos. All right, so this is just it, and this is just it. This is just it. Sorry. Okay, this is it. So you can have three div that you made to be flex. So you can make them to be block based on the device width. So you can try that out on your own. Okay, so we are good.